The stove is going to bleep at us in about 19 minutes, 18 maybe, because it's heating up the egg rolls. We're having stir-fried egg rolls for dinner. Because I forgot to put on a pot of beans. Thank you very much. Yeah, I forgot. Well, we got tortillas. We got plenty of salsa, and we got, and cheese. I just need beans, and we ate our beans, and I didn't put on another pot, and I forgot. So I will do it tomorrow, Thurith. I didn't do much of what I was going to do today. I was up in time. I just, I had some other things I had to get squared away to get on my pattern, to get on a schedule, and a pattern of behavior. And I have things the way I do things. I try to be very regimentated as far as, doing things that are right and intelligent and healthy. But I have a virtual presence of people that use technology to manipulate them to their ends, to their means. So I always have to shift my schedule to accommodate the totality of humanity praying to Jesus to save us from genocide, as opposed to just take care of myself, survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. Part of my survival is, Jesus feeding the 5,000, and that's the type of person I am. I make sure everybody else gets there first, and then I take care of Earl. And, when you guys are all living the Lord's Prayer, then I can just focus on taking care of Earl. But until that day, I'll be your man and try to love away your troubles if I can. But it's very hard for me. And not that anyone cares, right? I also work at the Gap. I don't work at the Gap. I've never worked at the Gap. I had a crush on a girl that looked at the Gap that looked like Jennifer Lopez from Jersey Girl. Yeah, she was really into Duran Duran and U2. Yeah, that's how I started. I already heard my friends were into Duran Duran, but they didn't like U2. Then I started listening to U2. So, okay, let's see what this girl's about. So, oh, okay. It's either because it's popular among the white kids and she likes white guys. I was Mexican and she was Mexican, but she didn't like to date Mexicans. She liked to date white guys, like most of the Mexican girls in Phoenix, right? And so it was real hard for me to date most Mexican girls in the North Valley where I lived, because they all wanted to date white guys. The only place I could ever meet Mexican girls that wanted to date Mexican guys was when we cruised down south, but everything got stupid and macho and it never worked out, like what happened with Edna and so forth. And so at Christown, I did occasionally run into some Mexican girls that, but they were always taken, Edna was taken, right? And then she finally just stepped outside of her thing and asked out, he's cute. Yeah, it was cute. I think I'm still pretty cute for a 60-year-old man that's been poisoned half to death by your taxpayer dollars and all your top technology. I think I look pretty good. I think I hold up pretty good to some of the worst mind fucking and chemical poisoning through voluntary, involuntary manslaughter, rules of genocidal engagement they call laws. Lawmakers. Yeah, lawmakers, my ass, Oh, trust me, they know. Guys, they know. One of the main things, Ted Heap and Reed Sakaguchi, okay, were both college graduates and both going into linguistics. Okay, 3 Days of the Condor. You guys don't get it. Never mind. To explain everything to everybody around here. They're so freaking insane. It's a pain in the tuckus. Linguistics. Okay. The way people use language to manipulate and fuck each other is basically what goes on. And you got to understand what's going on with people. People are clinically insane, and most people are clinically insane, and most people don't understand that they are clinically insane. Okay. Language, okay. In ancient times, you go read the Bible and the Quran. Prove it. Like with what's his face, crazy old John Calvin, the mass murderer of people. You're teaching children wrong, and they will go to hell. Heaven and hell are relative interactive states of being. They have instant karma. It's not instant karma. That's a word that they invent, because karma doesn't work the way that they invent the word and say that it does. It's not true. All right. You can have somebody who's the head mass murderer, always living in the castle on the hill, always having sex with all the girls that he wants to have sex with, King Henry, with Beckett on that movie with Richard Burton and all that. Yeah, guys, you can have it's. Trust me. And it happens. Judah Krishnamurti talked about it. So this whole thing about karma, that's a human fantasy invention that doesn't show any evidence of existing in actual perpetual reality, eternal wretchedness, right? All right. The rich people consistently are the mean fuckers, and they don't have to be the most attractive or best looking. The Roosevelts, the Windsors, the Tudors. Okay, and you're like, how did they get in charge? And that just doesn't make any sense. You'd think that because people are jealous of attractive people, and if the attractive person is nice, like Jesus and King David, they hate him even more. He's got moral values. He's on a moral high horse. He has an overdeveloped sense of honor. He's the best athlete. He's one of the best singers. He's one of the best dancers. And they hate him. It's like the whole thing with Flowers for Algernon with Cliff Robertson. You want everybody to hate you? Why do you think I underachieved my entire life at everything? And the only thing I achieved at was protecting the abused from the abusive. And a lot of the abusive, apparently, with all the tech geeks now that are abusing the fuck out of me, they resent it. I don't need you to protect me. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't need me to protect him from his ego. He has to do it for himself. I totally agree. But children that are being abused by his ego and his science projects and are unaware of it, and they pray to Jesus for help, they're going to get my help. Okay. Life's eternal grace is in him. Adam Mendoza, David Jesus John, and I'm an excellent driver, 20 minutes to Wapner, right? So, and it says in the book of Revelation, the one like Jesus in spirit, in temple and molecular structure during the apocalypse, is the son of Ralph and Mary, and they call him Lord, Earl. Wow. Like I told the people in front of the Brannigan, your Jesus ain't here. You got to deal with me. And if you didn't like Jesus, you're not going to like. If you don't like me, you wouldn't have liked him. Crucify him, crucify him. You would have been screaming for his crucifixion because he thinks he's so fucking smart. He thinks he's so good. He thinks he's so that. He's lazy and he doesn't work as hard as other people do. I work right. But every time I try to work right, I'm not allowed to by scientific perverts that are jealous of me and say he's not willing to put into work to do what it takes to be great. Oh. You want some Frosted Flakes, asshole? Because I've got Frosted Flakes all around here. Okay? The older they get, the more frosted they get on top, the flakier they get. And if you don't believe that, me and George Strait got oceanfront property in Arizona, and we'll take all your make-believe money to have sex with all the idiots that accept make-believe money for sex. Me and George Strait support that message. Amarillo by morning. I said it. I said it. It's amo to you. But I didn't get George when he was young. Tell him, hey, no. And in a Spanish-speaking community, they ain't yeller. It's amo to you. But you can say yeller, but just okay. It's okay. We'll forgive you. Like that one guy at Southwest Airlines. It's Tejas, not Texas, but we'll forgive you. You swore to God that you would honor your marriage with us as countrymen. And you betrayed that, Why do you think he went through and they'll all be put to the sword and none shall be spared? Why do you think he did what he did at Goliad? And why do you think he did at the Alamo? Okay. That's a very pissed off human being. They had to swear allegiance. They all had to be Catholics and go into the Catholic Church and swear before God that they would not betray this covenant. That they would honor the covenants that they took. Everything they would take as serious if they were Mexican-born citizens. Okay, and then they all tried to betray him, and he wanted to kill everyone. Do you understand? I'm just trying to put you inside Santana's mindset. What about when he was having sex with the Yellow Rose of Texas? I think we've already covered that. I think you guys all, yeah. Beyonce shows up and says, "You want to have sex? Do you guys want to have sex with Beyonce and Destiny's Child?" Yes, we'd like to. Okay. We're going to get caught with our pants down by Sam Houston and Steve Austin. Yes, but who cares? It's Beyonce. She's the baddest in the game. Look at that butt. You're so bad. It's true. You know what they say about all them tan girls, right? So bad. Guys, every woman has a butt. Okay. Every woman has a vagina. Every woman has lips, right? If she's out, somebody else is slapping that ass while he's tapping that punani while she's sucking his best friend's dick. Time is all it takes to tell the story that I know so well. Time will tell the story of your new love. And it happens. Law told me that. Her fantasy was to be two guys at once. Lots of girls told me that. Rhonda told me that. I want to be a sex icon. I want to be a sex symbol. What's your fantasy? Be with more than one guy at once. Okay. No, that was not my fantasy. That got incorporated into acts in my life that happened. My very first almost sexual experience was when I was 12, but I got sick and went outside and threw up and lied and said I had been drinking TJ Swan earlier that evening when I wasn't. I just was uncomfortable with the situation. The main reason why was because one of the girls that was with Gina was a girl that my friend Bart had a crush on, Stacy, and she's coming in, the new class is coming in, Stacy Cleveland, she was so cute, and he liked her. And then I thought, oh my gosh, and the reason why they were with me is because Bart had a big mouth and I don't. I wouldn't tell everybody, but they told everybody. It was Gina. I don't think it was Stacy. No, I don't think Stacy talked as much as Gina did. Gina told everybody everything we ever did. And I was like, man, I didn't want them to talk about you like you were a little, tease and a slut. And then she goes and tells everybody. I didn't tell anybody about anything when we got alone together and what was going on. I didn't tell any of the boys in town. Because I know how they are. I know the neighborhood. Talk is cheap as talk is good. When girls come up and say, hey, start kissing us, start touching our private parts, you go, okay. I'm 13, you're 13, you're 12. I'm good with this. Puberty's raging at us. I am. It's all okay. Well, let's hold the ocean back with a broom as well as we can. But let's like the tide rushes in, right? Ebb tide, right? You're like sitting there going, wow, yeah, this is going to be fun, right? And when me and Gina got alone up in the attic of their house, and she was doing some of the same things, and she stopped, and I did. But it was, I didn't stop this time. I didn't get sick. Nothing. It was like, okay, this is fun. We're going further. I'm going to have some fun here. And she stopped me, and then she told everybody about what happened. My belt buckle was on her hips, and I said, oh, this belt's too tight. I'm going to take it off, is what I said. But what I mainly was thinking was we were grinding and kissing, and I didn't want my belt buckle hurting her body. I should have said that. I should have said, but I was 13. You'll have to forgive me, and all my hormones were raging, and hers were too. But I should have said, I think this belt is hurting you. I'm going to take it off. Right? And because that was what my thought process was. Oh, trust me. Why? Because I'm not a politician or a CEO, and I don't lie, you fucking cow. I'm going to break the 10 Commandments over your fucking golden head. Trust me. When I remember something, I remember it really well. Okay. It's a lot like Sheldon, but it's different. Because I'm not a regimented type person like Sheldon that can, okay, when this happened and she tried to have sex with me, it was oatmeal day and I had to throw the French toast away. And I'm not like that. I'm not like the people fucking me with the technology so they can fuck you in the head with money and drugs. You need your Ozempic? You fat? Got diabetes? It's because your body excretes lots of toxins through stress, and you try to compensate to feel better by eating foods that make you feel better. And if you had less stress and less of a toxic environment, you could accommodate eating those foods that make you feel comfortable, and you probably crave them less because you wouldn't feel stressed like you want it to stop. And why can't you just die by eating the food that makes you feel comfortable? Food, only hurts after the Ozempic facts and not before. I was standing, you were there, two worlds collided, and it will never tear us apart. I got to put that on the MP3. I like that song. Anybody else like that song? By, was it In Excess? I really like that. That's a good song. And shortly after that, he died. He was in a hotel room with somebody, and he was being asphyxiated. He was, they were choking each other, and the person screwed it up and it killed him. He enjoyed it right when he was being choked and then had his orgasm, and it went wrong. It's like, well, yeah, it happens. It happens, and that's sad that people feel that they have to come that close to death to enjoy the experience of sharing life with another person. Okay. That shows some kind of psychological and biological conditioning that's very, like I told you guys, homosexuality comes from bad heterosexualing. Okay. That's the only reason why we have homosexuality is because we have very, very bad heterosexualing. Okay. If you're bad heterosexualing, people want to be homosexual because they don't want to have to live through sexual relationships. They just want to have sex and die. Eat ice cream and die. Eat licorice and chocolate chip cookies and die. Mama Cass, ham sandwich, see what I'm saying? Dreamage. I liked Mama Cass. She was also on Scooby-Doo. Everyone's getting fat except Mama Cass. And she had a good sense of humor, Cass Elliot. She was very funny, and she had a wonderful voice. Yeah. She was yeah. I liked Cass Elliot. Didn't anybody else particularly fond of Cass Elliot? Yeah, I like her a lot. She was very funny. She obviously liked kids, even though they were probably mean to her and called her fat and all that horrible stuff that kids do when we're put into tribal sexual conflict, and say, well, let's take a double cheeseburger and a gallon of ice cream and one of Marlon Brando's moo-moos, and let's go to his island and just talk shit about all the people that are mean. Okay, sounds like a plan. Want some drop biscuits? Come on, Janice, let's go. Bring your grandma Sylvia with us. She can sing to us with Mel Tillis, and then we'll all stutter after we're done singing. I'm joking, I know. Everyone's getting fat except Mama Cass. Right? Shit, There's nothing wrong with the world we live in. There's nothing wrong with the trees. There's nothing wrong with oxygen. There's nothing wrong with water. There's nothing wrong with orange juice. There's, some orange juice because they buy it, sell it, and turn it into something it's not, and it's a product instead of orange juice. But with freshly squeezed orange juice, there is something wrong with the oranges, maybe because they might have toxic pollution from the freeway where they grow in Florida. Right? So okay, there is something wrong with, there's nothing wrong with the oranges and the apples the way they grow when we're not fucking it up. How's that? There you go! Okay. So there's nothing wrong with water as long as we're not fucking it up with our stupidity and our selfishness. Now, yak piss, that's a human invention. Try to forget about life for a while because you cannot have sex with the girl that you want to fuck because she stopped getting drunk and now she won't have sex with you because you're an idiot. Okay, so, see what I'm saying? I hope so. Well, because I happen to be one of the most intelligent people on the planet throughout history. There's lots of documentation to support my statement, and I'm not being an egomaniac. I'm not a math genius. I'm one of the most intelligent people in the history of the world. And if you don't believe that, you'll sit there and look at a phone that tells you that money's real and money's time and all that. You'll completely ignore me and think I'm an egomaniac. What? I'm not your manager. I'm not the guy I'm not the stockholders that make their money off of this place where we hold stuff hostage. Anybody else want some Taipei with us? We're having egg roll. In Okinawa, called spring roll, but we have egg roll. Okay, so egg roll and fried rice, chicken fried rice, not shrimp fried rice, not pork fried rice, or not beef. I don't know. They usually I don't have beef. Do they? A lot of times people don't cook beef fried rice. That sounds good. If you had fried rice with beef in it, I like beef. Anybody else like beef? I'm a New Mexican. Hello. We like beef with everything. And bacon? Yeah, we do like bacon. But it's called chorizo here, okay? So we like bacon. But we also have beef chorizo. But, that's right. Bacon I mean, we call it, what do you call bacon in Espanol? The pork is the chorizo we pig, but we have beef chorizo. Yeah, but it wasn't first. They just started making beef chorizo to sell it to people that don't eat pork. Us darn Jews, huh? Here's a reason why. As people wouldn't prepare it properly, and it would make them sick and get parasites in their intestines. So they just basically said, don't eat it. Because you couldn't stop them, and they said, God doesn't want you to eat it. It was basically the story. Because you can't explain science to a lot of people. They'll turn it into, God wanted to kill him. Like that one lady whose little daughter was half black and was eating paint chips, and she told me how much. I said, it's because she doesn't want to live, and she feels depressed and sad, and because she's overweight, she gets made fun of, and she's obese. And she was going to be that before she was born, so she was already biologically conditioned to be so. And she's, well, no. And then she started talking about baked potatoes. Baked potatoes can kill you. I know so many of them. And I was like, okay. It's entirely tangible that they were not prepared properly, that they weren't scrubbed and cleaned, and like my mom always made them. Before my mom baked a potato, she scrubbed the hell out of it. Okay. If there were any parts in there that didn't look good, she would cut it off. But most of the time, she'd just clean it out and then bake it, so it has how it's prepared. If you don't clean the potato properly, it wasn't the potato that made you sick. It was your hygiene habits of cooking the potato. Right. So don't blame the potato for you're stupid, right? Like Lorraine used to say, don't blame me for you're stupid. Called Sweet Lorraine. I was thinking about that the other night. I said, man, it's entirely tangible that the Brannigan 3, that 2 of them have passed away because they were quite a bit older than me and had health complications. So it's entirely tangible that Sweet Lorraine Gomes Williams. And Gomes is, it's not Gomez, it's Gomes. She's Portuguese. It's Gomes. So finesse. But that's how the way they say it, and I understand. But it's Gomez. But Gomez, it's S is Z and S is different. So it is, the girl was right. It's not Rodriguez, it's Rodriguez. It's with an S. It's not a Z. They have a different pronunciation, right? Hers was with a Z, though. The girl from Kleinfurst High School. Yeah, hers was with a Z, and I said, oh, Rodriguez. No, it's Rodriguez. It's like, no, it's not. Because Rodriguez would be with an S, like Gomes and Gomez. Zero? Okay. One's Portuguese, one's supposed to be Spanish. And she said, we're Portuguese. I was like, yeah, but if you're Portuguese, your name would end with an S and not a Z. I didn't know that then, but she argued with me. I said, okay, hey, whatever floats your boat. But there's nothing wrong with being Spanish. Unless, of course, you're Portuguese. I'm just kidding. It's funny. It's a joke, man. Get over yourselves. Okay. But I got the fried rice on low, so I let it cook for about another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll scoop it up and take it over to Dad. Just letting the egg rolls cool. If you were stupid, would you ever be able to explain to me you're stupid? If you were crazy, would you be able to? You know what I'm saying? We've gone over this over and over again. They told me that in Sierra Vista, you can't fix stupid. It's like, yeah, you can. Well, I've done it numerous times in my life. I've done something that was stupid. I'm not going to do that again, right? And then you don't. And they make you think you're doing the same thing over and over again because they're doing the same stuff over to you over and over again, like what used to happen with my little Amy. Guys, when you're a woman, and like Lori and Amy said, this planet is a prison and you can't get off. You have to kill yourself to try to get off. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Well, that's the way they want you thinking because they're trying to decrease the surplus population and diminish the splicing and get rid of the ones that they think were a bad splice. They're playing God. Okay? Natalie's gorgeous, but she's dumb. She believes everything. She's gullible and dumb as fuck. You can have a gorgeous woman that's not gullible and dumb as fuck. What makes you think she's gorgeous is she's a scientist that will kill people because she thinks the girl that's gullible is dumb as fuck. It's more fun to have sex with a woman who's sweet and kind and gullible and dumb as fuck than it is to have sex with one of the bitches on the fucking pussy Roger Moore fucking Sean Connery movies. I'll tell you that. I don't know. I've never had sex with any of those murdering bitches. I've just had sex with women that were trying to survive all those murdering bitches being in a virtual presence in our bedroom. And if you don't believe that, me and George Strait, we talked about this earlier. Amarillo by morning. What other ones did George Strait sing? All my exes live in, that's it. All my exes live in Texas. That's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. I like that one too. So does Amarillo by morning. All my exes live in Texas. And I never watched Pure Country, y'all. What was the other one? Oceanfront Property in Arizona. That's it. Got oceanfront property in Arizona. I was more into Dwight Yoakam, and then my friends in the service got me into Garth. And I was like, yeah, he's pretty good. Dwight's still my dog, though. Dwight's my dog. You know, everybody that likes good old-fashioned scooting booty country, you know, it's like he's like the Brian Setzer, you know. We'll rock this town, rock it inside. Only Dwight had probably more of a consistent and a bigger body of work that people were, dig that. That shit is good. Yeah, I remember the little girl from GCU. What's her name? She was so cute. She's an absolute sweetheart. And Buddy hired her, and she freaked out. She goes, I'm with, you know, she goes, my work, my boyfriend kind of, you know. He's a Chippendales dancer. He's homosexual. He's bisexual. Those two we were not playboys. We were funny. Gosh, me and Steve were great. We got a bad reputation, but we were good guys. All the girls knew it. Yeah. Especially the girls with bad reputations who... Oh, God, they're chumps. Yeah, we were chumps. Me and Steve were chumps. Steve's a good guy. Steve Waka Waka Farmer will always be one of my best friends. And Bob Cummins did it, yes. And Conrad Lincoln Wolf, of course. Mike Whalen, yes. I'm still pissed at Mike. You know, so why didn't you... Your sister is cute. I'd have made an excellent brother-in-law. Amy's cool. Yes, Amy was one of our best friends. Why didn't you date her and mess it up? I wouldn't have messed it up, but military intel, they mess up everything. Egomaniacs mess up everything. Selfishness messes up everything. Don't make commercials for money. You don't need money to live here. Stand up for the Messiah. He's perfect. You don't need DoorDash. And if you have home internet with T-Mobile, okay, please like, share, and subscribe this video so we can all not have to pay for our internet with money and our time. You know, our time is our life, and why would we waste it chasing fake-ass money to be abused and turned into a hoe cake factory for a bunch of pimps that are retarded, right? Animal! Make commercial! Need more money! Want woman! Most of us do. Most of us do. Most of us do want a woman so we can continue to love through being fruitful, multiplying, and holy covenants, right? Most of us do. Well, I think deep down inside, even RuPaul does. It's just the heterosexualing has been, how long has this been going on? I really do. I think RuPaul's like Bernie. Yeah. I'm the young man in the 22nd, you know, it's me at Dorothy Dandridge. And it seemed to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. And I would have liked to known you, but I was just a kid. Your candle burned out long before your legendary did. Probably thought the same thing about Miriam Cologne if he has half a lick of sense and really good taste. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And Barbara Luna, yes, of course, always. Okay, I love you guys, all right. And Nichelle Nichols, naturally. Okay, guys, I love you, all right. Peace out, man.